Now, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Pereira is in trouble.
What is Alex Pereira doing? A lot of people right now, they think he's taking his eye off the ball. They think that he's enjoying the superstar lifestyle too much.
My concern level is even higher. It's concerning to me. I mean, the whole thing is very concerning. And make sure he's locked in because he does have the hardest fight of his title reign.
So to make these concerns make sense, we're going to have to rewind back to UFC 312, where we had Alex Pereira going to Sydney, Australia to be in Sean Strickland's corner for his title fight against Dricus. Now, is this going to be a big concern? Being a month out, no, it's not the worst thing. It's just a weekend, but it is all the way across the other side of the world, which still I don't think is that big of a concern. But where the concerns are really coming from is the fact that he extended his stay. Like, he went and saw Drake, met him at his concert, riding around Sydney literally the week after. And then also he's gone and done things after Australia anyway. He's gone to Korea, trained with Korean Zombies guys. I mean, at least he's training there, but he's done a lot of social media stuff. He's very active on his YouTube channel, and he's done some live streams as well. And with that, media's all said and fine, but in comparison to Ankalaev, we have literally heard absolutely fuck all from up until fight week. We have not heard anything, and if we're seeing Alex Pereira doing all these, skits, signing girls' chests, going to Australia, going to Korea, making YouTube videos. I mean, we see that in comparison to Ankalaev, who has literally not been seen. He's in the mountains of Dagestan. We assume that he is training, Alex Pereira is not. And obviously, in any fight camp, no matter if it's small or as big as literally a title fight like this, there are concerns that are going to be growing when you are consistently doing things that do not involve training. And that's what it looks like on paper. That is what Pereira is doing compared to Ankalaev, who seems to just be training and is super fixated on this fight. And looking at the travel, a big concern that DC did raise was a good point, is from what we have seen, Alex Pereira has only had Plinio Cruz with him. Now, Plinio Cruz, fantastic coach. I'll be making a video about him very soon, so definitely keep your eyes out for that one. But the concern within that is then there's no heightened wrestling in his camp. Like, Glover Teixeira, he is the big guy that is helping him and assisting Alex Pereira with that wrestling. And that has been a huge topic of conversation throughout fight week and the last couple of months in terms of, is Magomed Ankalaev going to wrestle? And if he does, is Alex Pereira going to deal with it? When it comes to Ankalaev, I don't really understand where this whole huge wrestling pedigree has come from. Don't get me wrong, he's a Russian cat, he's from Dagestan, he trains in the mountains, he probably wrestles fucking bears. But we haven't actually seen a whole lot of wrestling from him. Honestly, Alex Pereira, he's been training for the last 2 years with Glover in that wrestling department. Now, does that mean Alex Pereira can out-wrestle Ankalaev? I don't think so. But can Ankalaev dominate Alex Pereira with his own wrestling? I don't think so. And that's where I think it is a huge problem for Ankalaev in this matchup, because on the feet, I think he gets destroyed. He gets destroyed stylistically by Alex Pereira, because Pereira, with that kickboxing base that he has more tools than Magomed Ankalaev. Ankalaev is listed as a base of a striker, as a kickboxer, but his kicking game is nowhere near as diverse and as deep and as clean as Alex Pereira's. And when we look at Alex Pereira, especially with that power, he's got more power than Ankalaev. I mean, if you're trading lead hook for lead hook, these guys, who are you going to take? You're going to be taking Pereira's left hook over Ankalaev's right out of a southpaw stance. Now, don't get me wrong, Ankalaev, with that southpaw stance, is always going to be a bit more tricky for an orthodox style fighter. And Ankalaev, in the boxing range, the dude is good. The dude is really good. He is fast, arguably faster than Pereira in that boxing range. That's great, but can he get it there and consistently keep it there? No, I don't think so, because the huge issue with Ankalaev is that a lot of people don't see is that Ankalaev is actually more of a counter striker. He's very fast with his hand speed, and he likes to counter people when they overextend. Alex Pereira is borderline a counter striker himself. He doesn't really ever come forward unless he has that clear path to just taking them out, which is the same as Ankalaev. But if you have two guys that are more so at that counter striking, you know, level, Alex Pereira's got the leg kicks. He's got the leg kicks at that range because they're both not going to be here. They are both going to be here. They're at that kickboxing range naturally as two counter strikers. Now, Alex Pereira, with the kickboxing he has, especially with those leg kicks, the leg kicks are the key to victory. Honestly, Alex Pereira, his leg kicks are great and they work well against anyone he has faced. But Magomed Ankalaev in particular, it is going to be destructive. Pereira is going to annihilate Magomed Ankalaev's lead leg. He is going to destroy it because Ankalaev is very heavy on his front foot and likes to lean forward in his stance, which is great for being able to be very quick off the mark. If you're leaning forward and as soon as someone makes a mistake, you've already got all that pressure to penetrate on your lead leg. So he can shoot for a takedown very quick, or he can counter very effectively. So it's great there, but the problem is he needs to get in that range to utilize it first. And the leg kicks that Pereira is going to be able to use, especially when you look at Khalil Roundtree versus Alex Pereira, you look at the lead outside leg kicks that Pereira was using, no telegraph, extremely fast. Landed so many of them on Khalil, and I mean, he landed them on Yuri Proharsky, he's landed them on Israel Adesanya in both their fights. Like, it's something that is going to be extremely difficult for Ankalaev to focus on. Ankalaev, we know, from his title fight against Jan Blachowicz, that's the biggest tell. He was on skates. He was limping everywhere because of Jan's bloody leg kicks. Jan made Magomed Ankalaev limp. Alex Pereira at UFC 291 made Jan Blachowicz limp. That is just a chain effect of Pereira. Okay, I am going to destroy this guy's lead leg. And if Ankalaev does not have that lead leg, he can switch that orthodox stance, which he is good in that orthodox stance. Don't get me wrong. He's got a good jab, good overhand, but you want to be in the stance where you have all the tools at your disposal against a two-time world champ glory kickboxer and a two-time bloody UFC champion, two-division champion, that is. You need to have the stance where you're going to have the most tools. And if Jan Blachowicz is literally annihilating your leg to the point where you have to switch stance to orthodox, Alex Pereira is going to cut that fucking leg off. That's the problem. So there's a humongous concern there, which is why looking at the camp in totality, whether it's good or bad for Alex Pereira, stylistically, the guy is just in such a good match against Magomed Ankalaev's style that I don't think it's actually going to matter that much, realistically. I am very confident in Alex Pereira in this fight. He's got more tools at kickboxing range. He's got the kryptonite of the leg kick. He's got the power advantage overall. And now when we look at that wrestling as well, if he doesn't have that penetration step from Alex Pereira just kicking his legs off, he's not going to be able to shoot properly. And even if he does, is he really going to be able to hold Alex Pereira down? Is he? I don't believe so. I think he could for a round. He could do what Jan did against Pereira and control him the entire first round of their fight, but any more than that for Ankalaev, I just don't see it happening. I think Ankalaev is going to underestimate what Pereira actually has to offer against him on the ground. And even if Ankalaev is able to get this to the ground and is able to out-wrestle him, can he do that for 25 minutes? He's going to tire out. Like, they're big guys. How many light heavyweight to heavyweight wrestlers, even middleweight wrestlers, can wrestle for 25 minutes? Pretty much fucking none of them. So that's where, honestly, if he tires out towards the end of the fight, I mean, Alex Pereira, regardless of how tired he is, we saw it against Israel Adesanya in their first fight, 5th round, he's still got the power there to dominate. And that's all to the point of whether Alex Pereira is going to be leg kicking him or not. And when it comes to that, if he is literally chopping that leg down Ankalaev switches stance to orthodox. Ankalaev has his hand pretty low in orthodox. He can fling a Yuri Prohaska style head kick up there. Very possible. He's just got so many tools. The wrestling is just not going to be enough unless Ankalaev gets into boxing range consistently, pressures him against the cage, and knocks him the fuck out. He's getting chinned. Magomed Ankalaev is getting chinned in this fight. Shitty camp versus good camp doesn't matter. He is in deep shit. There's not only that as well, we got Ramadan. It's been set up for failure for Ankalaev. He's not even actually fully committing to Ramadan to its actual full extent. He's not fasting properly either because he needs to have the proper weight cut to even make weight. So it's just actually more so a mess on his side the closer it gets to fight day compared to Alex Pereira, where fight week, from what we've seen so far, is going extremely clean. Ultimately, Alex Pereira, I think he's going to be able to get this done very easily. I'm not going to lie. I just don't see a clear avenue for Ankalaev to get this one done. And I think ultimately it's just actually a bit of a fucking nutcase thing to see that Alex Pereira was the underdog to start this off. He was the underdog, aside from Israel Adesanya in the first fight, never been an underdog. And now Magomed Ankalaev, for the first time in his career, he is an underdog. And rightfully so, with everything I've said in this, with the leg kicks that are coming, and they will come, Alex Pereira is going to get the KO TKO finish within the second to the third round. I 100% believe it. Shama. Now, I hope you enjoyed this MMA content, and I hope you enjoy UFC 313, where Alex Pereira is going to take this win. Now, if you want to see more MMA-based content, definitely check out the video on the screen. And please like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.